Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be working on our pistol training, and it is 12 degrees today. It actually warmed up from yesterday. Yesterday I think it was about 5 degrees. So obviously in this type of weather we need to be using gloves. Okay. Now, ideally I'd like to be using these guys. I'd like to be using these mittens. Well, the problem is that obviously with the mittens, I don't have that trigger finger, right? I need the trigger finger in order to be able to pull the trigger. The Russians actually perfected this during World War II. What they had is they had a glove design where basically these three fingers here were a mitten. Okay, it was actually a four-finger mitten over here, and then they had an index finger over here. And what that allowed you to do is it allowed you to actually pull back your finger, okay, pull back your index finger, your pointing finger, and insert it into the mitten section over here. And then when you needed your trigger finger, you would basically pull it out, and you would have your trigger finger, okay? Because when it's this cold, when it's like 5 degrees, I mean, basically you need a mitten. You need to keep those four fingers together so that they can generate warmth among themselves. So what this glove needed would be basically a finger index part there where I could basically pull my index finger out, stick it up in there, and be able to use, to pull the trigger. Unfortunately, that technology has been lost. Okay, since World War II, since the Russians used it during World War II against the Germans, I have not seen anybody sell a glove like that. And that makes all the sense in the world. I mean, they sell all these fancy shooting gloves, right, that they charge you $50 and $60 for. And, they're all like fancy leather summertime stuff. But in the summertime, I really don't need fancy gloves, okay? I can just use $10 pigskin gloves, and they work just as well. For the winter, I mean, that's where I need some specialized, winter shooting gloves. Now, I do have, like, these thinner gloves. So, these are insulated gloves too, all right? They're much thinner, okay? And they work pretty good when it's like, 30 to 40 degrees, right? They are insulated, but when it's like, below 10 degrees outside, forget that. You need thick gloves. Now, put the gloves aside for a second, and let's talk about our pistol technique. I usually don't like reinventing the wheel, okay? Pretty much everything that I teach I have learned from some other, combat instructor, okay? I don't make up stuff. But this is one area where I had to kind of figure out my own way because, basically we have not fought any wars in really cold climates, okay? So we really haven't developed any advanced shooting methods for really cold weather. So basically I gotta use gloves like these because that's the only thing that's available for this type of weather. And the technique that I've developed is, when you come out of the holster, right, I grab the gun up here, right, at the top, and that allows me to force my finger into the trigger guard, okay? And, sometimes with these thick gloves, they kind of stick a little bit on the way in. That's why I need to brace it and stick it in there. Now, also for this particular technique to work, you pretty much need a Beretta 92, okay? If you try to do this with a Glock, either your finger's not going to fit in there or you're going to accidentally fire the gun, okay? With the Beretta 92, the trigger guard is big enough, and also if you do happen to, hit the trigger a little bit, basically it's just going to move into the half-cock position. And you still have, at that point, you have even more room. And there's still, from that point, there's still a lot of travel, right? If I hold it this way, there's still a lot of travel that has to happen in order for you to fire the gun, okay? So the Beretta 92 is really a good gun to be training with in this type of weather. And believe it or not, I've actually been quite busy in this weather. I mean, yesterday was like 4 degrees outside, and I had a couple that, a man and a woman that I was training, outside in this type of weather. Okay, it was at a different location, but I was training. And today, I had 2 young ladies from New Jersey that I was training. So people do come out and train in this weather. So if you want it bad enough, you're gonna do it. Okay, so let's get a magazine into this gun, and let's practice this particular technique. Actually, before we even practice the technique, we're gonna basically put the magazine down. We're gonna basically run dry for a couple of times with this. Okay. So basically, grab the gun, come out, grip it. Make sure you grip it far enough back from the muzzle. Shove your finger in there. Come out. Get the sights on target. Good. You're definitely gonna have to go through this because working with the gloves and all that, you know, it's gonna affect a lot of different things. So you have to run through this dry many times to get used to this. Obviously, you're not going to be as fast, you know, as in the summertime when you have a T-shirt on and you're not wearing gloves, or you got really thin gloves on. But we have to deal with whatever nature deals us. Okay. Magazine in, decock it. Okay. This is basically the only gun that I will do these type of drills with, the Beretta 92. It's the only gun that will fit the trigger guard. It's the only gun that has enough travel in the trigger, so I know that I'm not going to accidentally fire the gun during this drill. Okay, and then make sure you decock the gun before you holster it. The other thing is normally when I decock it, I'll reach up with my left thumb. Because of the gloves situation, I'm just decocking it with my right thumb before I put it into the holster. I'm also visually inspecting it, you know, something I may not do in the summertime. But again, because I'm dealing with these thick gloves and I have lots of clothing on and jackets, you know, before I try to reholster, I want to visually inspect the gun. Okay. So again, I normally don't like to reinvent the wheel, but this is a situation where I really have no choice. You know, there is no other. We have no history of really fighting in wars in sub-freezing temperatures for me to draw on the experience of veterans from. So I kind of have to use what works. If you guys find a better way, please let me know. I look forward to hearing your opinions, your ideas. This is kind of new territory. Working with thick winter gloves in sub-freezing temperatures. And trying to make it work. I'll talk to you guys next time.